Today, BJ, on the trade deadline, I was celebrating. I was here. I jumped out of my seat and I was dancing around my room, bust out a little tutu skank for them, because, ladies and gentlemen, Enes Freedom Kanter is no longer on the Boston Celtics. Gone are the days of watching him getting cooked completely and utterly. He's off the team. It has been a blessing. And the Celtics and GM Brad Stevens surprised me with how well they did. I was actually shocked at how well they did. Not only did they get under the luxury tax, which was their objective, they got the steal of the trade deadline. I don't know how much San Antonio Spurs you've watched this season or last season, BJ, but Derrick White. I could not believe that the Celtics got Derrick White. Now, if you don't watch a lot of Spurs games, Derrick White is a fantastic defender. The backcourt of Marcus Smart and Derrick White, that is going to be mean. They're going to pick guys up and harass them for the full 48 minutes. You don't want to play against those guys. You know, I can't believe that the Celtics got Derrick White. Fantastic, fantastic player. He's on a rookie extension contract, so it's not too much to pay. They traded, Josh Richardson in exchange for him. And then they also traded Dennis Schroeder over to the Houston Rockets to bring back Daniel Tice, a player who knows the system, a player who knows the team. I think that was for them. Yeah, fantastic. He knows how to play with Tatum and Brown very well. But I want to talk about Derrick White, okay? Because he's had a little dip in his shooting this year, but I saw some numbers that really made me smile. Not only is he a 48% shooter from the corner three ball last season, but Derrick White is, a 32.3% catch and shoot scorer this year. But last season, because obviously the Spurs haven't been great this season, last season he was 37% on 5 attempts per game. But here's one thing that happens to role players in Boston. Josh Richardson, who was traded for, he was shooting 32% on the catch and shoot threes. But when he was in Boston, that number went up to 80%. When Evan Fournier was on the Magic, he was shooting 36%. When he came to Boston, he went to 55%. So if we can get Derrick White shooting the three ball at a 40% clip, scary hours, because the defense the Celtics are playing right now, I don't know if you've been watching it, BJ, the defense has been amazing. And you talk about it all the time, defense wins. So now we're looking at it. If they can keep playing like this, they've got a point guard now in Derrick White. So Marcus Smart has been assisting his guys and moving the ball perfectly. Tatum and Brown have been making a concerted effort to make more plays for their teammates, keep the ball moving rather than isolate. They've been playing lockdown defense. I think they're the 4th best defense in the league now. They've been so good over the last 2 weeks that it's bumped them up for the whole season. We've got 2 killers who can isolate down the stretch in playoff games. We've got an excellent defense. Time Lord protecting the bucket. Tice, Horford, you can bring them off the bench now. I'm loving what I'm seeing. And I think we're trending. I don't want to speak too soon, but the Boston Celtics are trending in an upwards direction. BJ, what do you make of the state of the Celtics?
Well, you're feeling good right now, and you should. I mean, that was a nice pickup.
I've been feeling bad for the whole season, so I'm going to celebrate today.
You know what I always appreciate, Mo? I always appreciate this is there are salary cap moves, transactional moves, salary dumps.
Yep.
And then there are basketball moves. And you know what I love about the Celtics? They made a nice basketball move. Daniel Tice is a nice move. Derrick White, that's a nice move. It fits financially, but more importantly, those guys are good basketball players and they can help them as they continue on this journey of what ultimately, what you want to do there in Boston. So I think it was I thought it was, how do I want to term this? I thought these were very responsible trades because those guys worked. They identified the players. They identified financially. It's kind of like when you're shopping, you know what? You want to maximize the budget which you set for yourself. Well, you know what? They get an A+. It looks good, sounds good. It helps the team. It fits what they're doing financially. The owners are happy. The fans should be happy. The players should be happy. And you know what? This could get them to advance past the first round. I like Boston. I like what they're doing. Now,
I love it.
They're playing what I like, Mo, and what I've said here, and I'll continue to say it. I know those 2 guys can score. I'm not concerned about that. What I like about the Celtics, which isn't this isn't the most exciting thing to say. I love the fact that they are playing on the other side of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And because they're playing on the other side of the ball, now we're talking about winning.
Yes.
Okay.
You see the smile on my face.
Yeah, you can't to score, especially in today's game. I'm not really impressed because you can't touch the guys. Everyone's playing with pace, space. You shoot these ill-advised threes. Everyone's playing isolation basketball. I'm not really impressed. Not because I'm an old guy. It's just that scoring. If you saw this guy score 30 points against hand checking and all that, you're like, wow.
I hear it. There's so many scorers now, even if we look back 10 years ago. The amount of guys scoring over 30 points, the amount of guys that are averaging over 27 right now is triple the amount that was back in 2010, for example.
But what I really am, what I'm really impressed with is that you can see now that the culture of who this team could be. I'm not saying they are there yet, but they have shown a glimpse of saying, we're going to defend. Yes. I love that. I really like, you can see a little baby step. Now, the first sign of a good team is you start winning the games you're supposed to win. Mm-hmm. That's what they're doing now. Now I want to see what they're going to do when they play against the better teams in this league. Mm-hmm. I like what Boston has done. You got to give them an A+. I think they've done everything they could possibly do. They've identified the guys, all the scouts, all of the people should be happy. But now let's go play. And you're getting two other guys who I think are talented. I think they're tough, who could fit into this brand of basketball. And I think the Celtics now are beginning to get an identity, which is the first step.
Yep. And Derrick White knows Ime Udoka from his time at the San Antonio Spurs. So
excellent pickup.
I love it. And you can tell that's a player then that the coach has had a conversation with the front office and said, I like this guy. Can we go and get him? Unlike certain other teams, we just heard about Tom Thibodeau didn't want the Knicks to trade for Cam Reddish and they still went and traded for him anyway.